Welcome to the vr1.co.uk YouTube channel. This is the second video in a series of videos dedicated to the HP Reverb G2. This video covers installing all the necessary software, connecting the headset to the PC for the very first time, and how to set up and play your favourite Steam and Oculus games. I'll also pinpoint some common problems you may encounter during the setup process and how to fix them. Welcome YouTubers, my name's Pierre aka Pedro, and today I'll be guiding you through the step-by-step setup process for the G2. Before I get started, I'd just like to point out that for those of you who are interested in using the Valve Index controllers as a replacement for the G2 controllers, be sure not to miss our other videos and make sure you subscribe to our channel, not forgetting to click the bell icon in order to get notified when there's new content. Okay, enough said, let's get started. This is a pretty long tutorial, so if you want to skip to a particular section of this video, I've provided the timestamps to these in the description below. Before you start, please ensure you are using Windows 10, the version equal to or greater than the 10th of May 2019. If you have a lower version of Windows, please ensure to update it and restart your system. Personally, I think you're better off updating to the latest version of Windows anyway. I'd also like to point out that your PC will need to meet the minimum requirements specified by HP. You can find more about this in our other video, Unboxing the G2, link in the description below. Please also make sure you update your graphics card to the latest drivers. Okay, to get started, you'll firstly need to install Steam in order to run applications and play games. Thankfully, Steam is free. Search Google and install Steam. If you happen to be in Steam already, the download button is located in the top right corner. Click Install Steam and the download will start. Doesn't take long. Once the download is finished, you'll need to click on the download to open and install it. Click Yes to start the installation, then click Next, select your language and click Next. Steam will then prompt you with the install location. The destination shown here is the default, which is fine, but there is a browse option should you want to change the destination. Click Install. When finished, click Next. Great, almost there. Click Finish to run Steam. Steam will probably run an update, so let it finish updating before you continue. You'll now need to create an account. Select Create Account. Now you need to add your details. Enter your email address, retype it to confirm it. Select your country of residence from the drop-down list. Check I am not a robot and that you're 13 years of age or over, and click Continue. Enter an account name, this could be anything just as long as nobody else has chosen it, then enter a password and click Login. At this point, Steam will send you a confirmation email containing an access code, so check your email in order to finalise setting up your account. Everything is pretty straightforward from here on. Once the installation is complete, you can access and log into Steam either via the desktop shortcut, if you created one, or from the startup widget located in the far lower right corner of your taskbar. While logged into Steam, search SteamVR. Select the program and click the free install. A prompt box appears. Again, you have options to create a desktop shortcut as well as a menu shortcut. Click Next to install it. You can see the progress of this download by going to your library and selecting Downloads. After the install is complete, I would also recommend you change the betas option. You do this within your library. Scroll down to SteamVR, right-click it and select Properties. Select Betas, and from the drop-down, select Beta SteamVR Beta Update. Then close the window. Next, let's take a look at the settings within SteamVR. Go to the top right in Steam and click on the VR icon. SteamVR will fire up and the icon will turn green. Click on the burger icon in the top left. Now scroll down and click on Settings. Now, there's been a lot of controversy regarding these settings, specifically the render resolution, whereby some YouTube tutorials suggest lowering the resolution per eye within the custom setting in order to closely match the native resolution of the Reverb G2, which is 2160 by 2160 per eye. I can see why some feel the need to change this, as the setting clearly shows resolution per eye, which to many looks wrong, so they end up lowering it. Now, without getting too technical and going into how VR lenses work, there's nothing wrong with these settings. SteamVR automatically detects the correct resolution for your headset and the performance of your GPU, and will set this according to your headset. So leaving it at 100% or leaving it set to auto should provide the best results. Now, my GPU is an RTX 3080, and here I'm shown a resolution of 3172 by 3100 at 100%. This will undoubtedly vary depending on the GPU you have. For example, if you have a 2080 Ti, it will probably be lower. I'm not saying not to change this. Certainly if you're having performance issues, you may want to lower this value. Under the option Video, you can see the resolution also matches the default resolution I set under General. Now, in regards to the resolution for specific apps and games, you can set them here. Again, as you can see, the native resolution is shown here. However, it doesn't stop you from changing the resolution for the apps and games you already have installed. Maybe you want to change the in-game resolution for a flight simulator or Half-Life Alyx. There's also the advanced option, which can be toggled on or off for further tweaking your VR experiences, providing you know what you're doing and the consequences on doing so. There are other settings you can activate or modify too, such as the display and controller timings. Just to point out that if you do change any of the settings here, you'll need to restart SteamVR in order for the settings to take effect. Okay, that's enough on that for now. Let's move on. To fully experience VR, you're also going to need to download a free application called Windows Mixed Reality for SteamVR. Within Steam, from the home page or store, start a search for Windows Mixed Reality for SteamVR. Select the program and click Free to download. A prompt box appears. There's the option to create a desktop shortcut as well as a menu shortcut. This is entirely up to you. The other option is the installation location. All my apps and games are set to install on my solid-state gaming drive. Again, this is optional. Feel free to change it, or if you're unsure, leave it set as the default location. Click Next to continue. Windows Mixed Reality for SteamVR will then download. Now click Finish. You can see the progress of this download by going to your library. and selecting Downloads. It's a very small program, so it didn't take long to install at all. Now, providing you're still in your library, scroll down to Windows Mixed Reality for SteamVR. Right-click it and select Properties. Select Betas from the drop-down. Select Beta Public Beta, then close the window. The final and most important piece of software you'll need is the Microsoft Mixed Reality Portal. This is a free application native to Windows 10. To install it, search Microsoft Store. When in the store, search for Mixed Reality Portal. Select it and click Install. After the install is complete, just close the window for now. The app will automatically launch itself later on when we connect the headset to the computer. At this point, I recommend you restart your computer before we move on to the next part. Okay, we're touching cloth now. Let's get the hardware set up. Firstly, don't forget to remove the blue lens covers. It's easy to forget. Next, we need to connect the long headset cable, ensuring it's securely plugged into the headset. So remove the face cover if you haven't already done so, and insert the male display connector into the top left corner of the headset. As shown here, this isn't far enough in. It's important to make sure it goes all the way in, as shown here. Next, carefully remove the cable clip from the strap without breaking it. Damn! Too late. Well, at least I'm not the only one. Apparently this is a common problem with the clip, in that it's just too brittle. I'm sure HP would replace it, but I very much doubt it'd be an improved, flexible version. To be honest, a simple Velcro cable tie is probably the best option anyway. Right, next we need the power block and connect the power adapter to the cable splitter, or the breakout box, whatever you want to call it. Now the power block is connected, we need to connect the display adapter and the USB 3 Type-C connector to the PC. Now, don't worry if your computer hasn't got a USB-C port, you can simply use the USB-C to A adapter that was provided. If you're lucky enough to have a USB-C port, plug it in. Failing that, use the adapter and plug it into a USB 3 port instead. To finish the cable installation, and in order to activate the headset, plug the DisplayPort adapter into the graphics card. On doing so, Windows should detect your headset and automatically open the Mixed Reality portal. If for any reason Windows couldn't detect the headset, make sure the display cable is securely connected to the graphics card, especially the display adapter that connects to the headset. It should be fully inserted. If you're having issues pushing it all the way in and the adapter stops at a particular point and won't appear to go any further, a very slight wiggle is usually enough to fully seat it. However, try not to use excessive force. Just keep trying and it'll eventually go in. If you encounter any other problems, don't worry, I cover these in another video, G2 troubleshooting. The link to this can be found in the description below. Okay, now where was I? Okay, so headset connected and hopefully you're free from errors. From the intro screen, click Get Started. Now it's time for the setup. Click I agree to continue. You're then presented with a summary of your system specifications and whether you have any issues. In this example, there's an issue with the USB 3 port. To remedy this, I simply attached the supplied adapter and plugged it into a USB 3 port. It's important that all these boxes are ticked. In order to proceed, click Next. Now all you have to do is follow the next few steps and pair your controllers. Click Next. Now pair each controller by holding down the Windows button on the left controller until it says connected. The lights on the controller will flash once paired. Do the same and pair the right controller. Once both controllers are paired, click Next. You'll then be shown the bottom layout of the controllers. Happy with that? Click Exit. You should be then presented with the boundaries setup. If not, select the burger menu from the top left of the app and click on Set up Room Boundary. Choose the type of setup to suit you. There are two to choose from, Seated or All Experiences, which is the preferred option. Follow the on-screen instructions to map out your play area, holding the headset centered, pointing towards your monitor as you move around the outer edges of your play space. When done, click Accept. There are a few settings we need to check and adjust to make sure everything works correctly. Let's check the settings in the Mixed Reality portal. Go to the bottom corner of the app, clicking on the three dots, and select Settings. Select Headset Display and make sure the visual quality is set to high and the resolution is set to best quality. Having said that, you could leave both the visual quality and the resolution on their default options, as Windows should automatically recognize the settings based on your headset and PC performance anyway. However, if you have a high-spec PC, you may as well go ahead and change them anyway. Having said that, if you do experience issues, set both these to automatic. The calibration slider shown here is supposed to be the IPD adjustment. However, there's no point changing it here, as it will have no effect anyway, as the IPD on the Reverb G2 is manually set. So adjust your IPD later on using the IPD slider on the headset itself, whilst in VR. Also, just so you know, this is where you can change the refresh rate of your display. You can leave it on automatic and leave Windows to decide what to use, or you can change it yourself. I changed mine as I have a high-spec PC and graphics card, so I don't anticipate any problems. Okay, before I forget, let's quickly fix an issue with the volume level on the headset. There's an issue that can occur when gaming with friends, where your voice can sometimes come across very loud in some applications. This is due to the default volume level being set at 100%, which is too high. To change this value, make sure the Mixed Reality portal is active. Then go to the bottom right corner of your desktop and right-click on the speaker icon and select Open Sound Settings. Click on Sound Control Panel. Click on the tab Recording and click to select this microphone. Now select Properties, click on the Levels tab and move the volume slider anywhere between 40 and 45. Personally, I think 45 is the perfect balance in my opinion. Click OK and OK again to finish. Now your controllers are paired and your boundary is set up. Wake up your headset by putting it on. You should end up in the Cliff House. If you can't see your controllers, turn them on by pressing the Windows button on each controller. You'll then see them appear in front of you. If for any reason your standing position appears to be too high or low, you can set your height in the following two ways. Either press the Windows button on one of the controllers to bring up the application widget and find and select the app called Floor Adjustment, Alternatively, the floor app should be located down the stairs to the right. Click the floor app to adjust your standing height. Once in the floor space area, the best way to set your height is to place one of your controllers on the floor in front of you. Then using the other controller, push the thumbstick forwards to lower your height. Backwards will increase your height, moving the controller up. As doing so, and when looking down, you will see your height lowering and the controller moving closer to the floor. When you're happy with the height, point the controller at the gem to return to the cliff house environment. That's it. Now you're free to explore the cliff house, although there's not much to see or do really. Having said that, there are a few game demos you can try. There's also some mildly entertaining 360-degree video experiences, and a personal home cinema for watching movies. You can even change your home environment. You can browse the web, check your email, visit the Microsoft Store, and view your calendar appointments. Okay, now we've had a good look around our cliff house, let's fire up a SteamVR game. Okay, but what about Oculus games, you ask? Well, good question. If you previously owned an Oculus headset, or still do, such as the Rift S, you'll probably have an extensive list of Oculus apps and games installed, such as Asgard's Wrath, Robo Recall, among many others. If this is the case, hopefully you still have the Oculus app installed. If not, you'll need to download it and install it again. The final piece of software you're going to need is Revive. This software is free and can be downloaded from GitHub. Use Google to find the program and download it. Once downloaded and installed, your library of Oculus games will pop up in a new window. Okay, let me just close that window. Next, within the Cliff House environment, press the Windows button on your controller and the app widget will appear. Now select all apps, find the SteamVR app, click it and drag the SteamVR app, placing it on your wall, or anywhere you like for that matter. It's a great idea in that it provides quick access to the SteamVR portal, as well as Revive for launching your Oculus apps and games. To get there, it's just a case of selecting it. At this point, I'd also like to point out that the icon for the Steam app should be visible within the taskbar widget in the lower right corner of your desktop. When you access the SteamVR app in the Cliff House, SteamVR should automatically launch. Here you'll find all your Steam apps as well as all your Oculus games. If for any reason you can't see your Oculus game library, I'd recommend restarting your PC. There's no scroll bar for navigating. You'll need to point and hold the trigger, either in the center or to the left or right, then move your controller up or down to scroll through the apps. Then it's just a case of finding the app or game you want to launch and select it. To access just the Oculus game library, click on the menu button on the controller. The SteamVR overlay window will then pop up. Here you can see the most recent apps and the games you've played. You can even scroll through your entire game library using the carousel. Now, to access just your Oculus library, simply click on the Revive button and all your installed apps and games will appear. To return to the previous screen, select the Library button. Okay, let me just show you an important tip that you might not be aware of. Let me fire up Half-Life Alyx. As you can see here, I'm not positioned correctly and I need to reset my view. This happens in almost every game, but it's easy to fix. Simply press the menu button on your controller and select the Reset Standing Position button. This will correct your position, pointing you in the right direction. After you've finished and exited a game, you can return to the Cliff House by pressing the Windows button on the controller and selecting the Home button. Well, that's about it. Hopefully you have everything working now. Just so you know, when the headset is not in use, HP recommend disconnecting the power adapter. For those of you who are unsuccessful and experience problems and error codes, be sure to check out our other video, G2 Troubleshooting. A link to this can be found in the description below. Also, for those of you who are interested in seeing how we set up the Valve Index controllers as a replacement for the G2 controllers, be sure to subscribe and click the bell button to get notified when it goes live. Well, that's about it for setting up the G2. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Please do leave a like if you like this video and make sure you subscribe should you want to receive future content. Alternatively, you can join VR1 and interact with other VR gaming enthusiasts at vr1.co.uk/join. Link below. Please feel free to leave a comment, as we'd love to see what you have to say. Thanks for watching.